Hi. Hi, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to this second session of our series of seminars of the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce, specifically organized by the Quality Council, about corporate communication content. So as mentioned, this is a series of seminars. We reflected upon the fact that often companies in the B2B sectors tend to be a little underrepresented, a little underserved in terms of marketing, seminars, webinars, for reasons that are quite obvious. You know, the big brands tend to be more active in communications. So this is really something about promoting the best practices for business communication in China, specifically for those companies, B2B corporate, that tend to not think of marketing as their first way to reach out to the market. Just a couple of words about the Quality Council. I think most of you know it. It is the organization, it is the team inside the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce that specializes in quality products, quality brands, and also quality services. So we tend to kind of like service across different categories, across different industry, and a lot of the members of the Quality Council belong to the service industry. So agencies that promote communication, e-commerce, advertising, and I belong to the Quality Council as well. As mentioned, this is a series of sessions. There will be 5 of them in total. And we are at the second session. We started the first session talking about communication strategy, and today we will talk about brand experience. We have the pleasure, the honor of having an expert, an Italian expert in China, which is even nicer, Alberto, who comes from Publicis Lux events. And this will be the second of a series of sessions that will then talk about video, art, and as a final session, social media and digital. So very quickly, I'll introduce you to the topic as I'm doing right now. I'll introduce you to Alberto, who will have a short presentation, and then we can finish off with a networking session. We hope to be out by 9. And we hope to be all out of here without additional medical conditions. So a quick few words about myself. So I am the CEO of a company called ADIACENT. ADIACENT is an Italian leader in digital services, digital communication, digital e-commerce, digital infrastructure. We have a big team in Italy. We are a listed company. And here in China, we also have a sizable team of 60 experts. A few words about myself specifically. I've been in China for 17 years. This is me as I was a student at university, at the University of Shandong. I was playing the part of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, which is the national hero of the biggest literary saga, and I was playing the role of the Monkey King because I was the only student that was coming from the West, so I was the only person with a decent beard. So hence me being chosen as the monkey. And then fast forward, I've done a bunch of things. I've mostly worked in digital communication, e-commerce, as I am doing for ADIACENT. This is me speaking in front of an audience of over 1,000 people in Chinese about artificial intelligence. I don't want to repeat that experience ever again. So I just will say a couple of words about the importance of communicating for corporate and especially for B2B companies. I was talking to this is a real story. I was talking to a company just a few weeks ago, and it's a massive conglomerate. They produce paper, and they're an 8 billion euro revenue company. Of these 8 billion euros, around 2 are generated in China. And they call me and they showed me their team, and there were only 4 of them. And we realized that they didn't have a website. They did not have a website in China. So to to which I was completely flabbergasted. How is it possible? You generate 2 billion euro revenue in China, and you haven't even thought about the necessity of putting together a website for China. And the answer was like, well, first of all, this is what I'm calling you for. But secondly, you have to consider that traditionally for this type of B2B corporate businesses, the clients find us. We don't have to find the clients. So it's only a very recent thing that even B2B companies need to go out and look for their audiences. There is another trend that I think is quite interesting, which is like B2B companies are becoming not exclusively B2B. So a lot of B2B companies are anyway becoming B2C. So they have to talk to the final consumer. And so thinking of these questions, like where are the consumers? Who are the consumers is something that finally even B2B companies need to be thinking of. And we know that the times are not easy. So to say, we work in e-commerce, so we observe the customer behavior online on a daily basis. And I can tell you that all the data are suggesting that people in China traditionally have been very, very active for looking for things, browsing online. They're becoming less so. They're becoming much more passive. They're becoming much more picky about the content that they receive. This is an example. This is a real data of a specific category, fragrance, inside the biggest e-commerce platform in China, so Tmall, Taobao. And you can see that the yellow line is the traffic from 2021. The blue line is the traffic from 2022. And you could quite clearly see that there's less and less people browsing. And of course, there is another topic, a topic that Alberto will expound in his presentation, that Chinese companies, Chinese businesses are really becoming real competitors of international businesses. So the idea of we are on two parallel lines. There's like the local brands, but they are talking to an audience. We don't care about them. And there's us. We talk to the premium audience. It doesn't exist anymore. So once again, a few data. Is there a clicker here? No. Yes. Yes. These were the top 10 beauty brands on Singles Day, you know, the biggest e-commerce festival in China in 2019. And you can see that all of the top 5 and most of the top 10 were foreign brands. French, USA, Korea, Japan, etc. 2022, the scene is completely different. The majority of top sold brands in the cosmetic industry, and mind you, the cosmetic industry is the biggest category inside e-commerce in China. All of them are Chinese. So clearly there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of things that have happened in the past year. We're looking forward to a year of recovery, to a year where experiences and communication will be possible again. So this is the moment where we, as the Italian Chamber of Commerce, specifically the Quality Council, are encouraging brands and companies, whatever the type, whether B2B or B2C, to really start thinking about how to communicate to their consumers. And for this, we have an expert to tell us more about brand experience, specifically about the power of brand experience in the China market. Alberto, I'm not going to introduce you. You can do that better than me, but I just want to say that Alberto is a person that I've known for years, because he's been working with one of the leading event agencies before moving, the name is Apex, before moving to Publicis Lux event. And he can tell us quite some stories about brands and how they do events and brand experiences in China. Alberto, please.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. It's a very great pleasure to speak in front of you and have Andrea as a partner to lead this speech. Okay, so thanks to the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce for organizing and Flat Mind this series of speech. Okay, let's start. A quick introduction of my work over the years.
Roberto, was the video made by Flatmind?
No, this is a video made by myself. In fact, Flatmind asked me who made the logo at the beginning. I said, okay, I pay online service to do that. But anyway, Flatmind support a lot. Thanks so much. Okay, as Andrea introduced, the topic of tonight is the power of the brand experience. Why the power? Because we believe that the brand experience nowadays is not necessarily related to events, but it covers the experience online and offline. Brand experience is not only a physical experience, it's also a digital experience. In fact, in the past years, right before the COVID, and this speed up during the COVID, social media, the introduction of the metaverse, artificial intelligence, embrace the brand experience to leverage the vision of the consumers. I came to China 11 years ago, where the market already booming about events. But I have to say that right now, as Andrea mentioned before, it's no longer the same. There is a new vision for the future, and this new vision for the future embraces the young generation, the Web3, the experience moved to online platforms, and the consumers are more and more sophisticated and eager to discover new words to express themselves. This integration of technology transformed the way we experience the brand right now. As 11 years ago, I came and worked for event agencies. The projects we see are very related to showcase. The product is there, the target of your audience is pretty much the same. All these change. What we are looking for and request from the client is about creating emotions. And every experience from different kind of people change according to the personal experience of the consumers. In this connected world, online or offline, we can really fly high and discover new kind of journeys that are not necessarily related to traditional formats, but goes beyond the imagination. So moving from a traditional product showcase, what the consumers are looking for are experiences that craft emotion. If the emotions comes from the brand experience itself we can define as successful. In a world where physical and digital experiences merge, our imagination is booming, getting higher. We can embrace into our physical world, our digital worlds. And the users become the creators of the story. The difference from the brand experience of today in China and many years ago is that the message is no longer centered. The message can change, and the user is no longer a passive spectator of the event, but becomes the creator of the story. So more and more brands are pursuing this way to let the consumers play with this, to reveal the soul of the product. And this is possible also through the artificial intelligence, which help through the data collection to personalize the experience of every consumer. So if before we go to the event or to the exhibition and we see one product and one content, which is the same for everyone, with the new technology, we can let the consumers to play with the contents and customize the journey they want to have. So in this new environment, in this new world, we are finally open the eyes and see a new future. And in terms of technology and innovation, China is leading that. Long time ago, when I came to China, we were experiencing the traditional events. And these traditional events were definitely connected to what we call traditional marketing. And the traditional marketing was very close and related to the Web 1.0. So basically, when we plan an event, we receive the brief from the client, and we need to plan and create a concept. Our questions as event professional were based on gender, location, and age of our consumers. And most of these events were based on product showcase. This is the product, is the same for everyone. These are the contents, are the same of everyone, or responding to this kind of target audience. With the evolution of the social media, we start to plan events based on the tribal of the consumers, where these consumers come from, what is their personality, which tribe they come from, and what's their attitude. What these consumers were looking for is a community experience. So from product showcase, we start to embrace new formats that speak for the different tribes. An event for the tribe of hip hop is not working for the tribe of underground people. Same as luxury, he might not work for another tribe. So the focus was on tribal marketing. But during the COVID time, with the speed of the Web3 and the artificial intelligence, we believe the time of the tribe is still on, but is going to be over soon. Why? Because it's hard to define the consumers in both tribes and in general structures. So I believe that the power of the brand experience is to really leverage the personal creation, the imagination of individual consumers, and leverage the emotion of everyone else. So in terms of experience, we move from a showcase to a community tribe to a personal experience. As you can see, more and more from avatar creation to metaverse personalization. This leverage the experience of the consumer in terms of uniqueness. That's me, that's you, everyone is different. And finally, everyone can truly express himself in the brand world. Let's explore it. So I'm also glad to have some of my old colleagues here, where we work together on this IP for National Geography and my previous company called BrandX. We come up with an IP format for the community right during the COVID time. We call it Exploring Blue. 2050 is the end, or at least we are getting close of the end of the Earth, ideally. And most of our cities in China, next to the ocean and the rivers, will be disappeared eventually without an action from the government, from the people. The idea of the Exploring Blue in Shanghai was to emphasize on this fact and also provide people a solution. The whole journey we create was based on the ocean experience, But why the ocean is very important? Because actually the ocean provide us food, provide us oxygen. So if we save the ocean, we will save life on the earth. The whole journey we create was based on this icon of the sphere. The icon of the sphere symbolizes a drop of water. Everyone is a drop of water. Everyone formed the ocean. The mission of this IP was to bring the last drop of water across the exhibition to regenerate life and make it green again. From the ocean to the green life, this is the journey experience of the audience inside the exhibition. This IP, the creation of the IP, was very beneficial both for the companies and the brands, because along the years, the IP in a way was created, involves some brands to partner with and leverage this message of sustainability. This happened in Shanghai, in many other cities in China, and also happened in Chongqing. Why creation of the IP was also to embrace different lifestyle and different messages in the city. For example, in Chongqing, we don't have the ocean. The idea was to play with an ideal ocean, a fantastic ocean. So we create the fantastic icon of the Kun, which is a metaphorical figure of Chinese culture that coming from the imagination, fly over Chongqing and enter inside the exhibition to reach the heart of the ocean. As you can see on the picture, is right at the beginning of the exhibition. And the sphere that they previously created for the Shanghai stop was used to bring all the fishes and seaweed alive around the exhibition. So everyone touch the screen, generate a word of hope for the ocean. And from the word of hope, a new fish was born. So I believe in this sense, with the usage of technology, every consumer, every customer can really create contents, personalized contents, and decide what journey having inside the exhibition. Another experience, this is for Oppo, it was in 2018. With the launch of R17, we didn't want to do a traditional event, which is based on keynote, where people definitely get bored after 10 minutes with a regular speech, but we plan to create an immersive night in the museum. Why night? Because the property of this phone is definitely the camera, the power to take a photo in the night, but also to charge very fast. The look and feel is very sci-fi, so the overall atmosphere and tonality of the event is very futuristic. What is the key point is on the way we display the phone. The phone is for people to do experience, and we emotionally did an interpretation of each feature of the phone, from the outlook to the colors to the faster change. All of this comes alive with the usage of technology. Another event, which is now running in Jianyuan, brings not only the product alive, but the emotional stories of the watchmakers. The difference in the brand experience right now is the brand doesn't only want to talk about the product. They want to emphasize of the human being behind, of how the craftsmen, the watchmakers create the artwork, what is behind, what are their stories. So the overall idea that including online communication is based on the shape of the loop, which is the iconic element that the watchmakers use to create the amazing world and to go through the outlook of the watch to unveil every detail of it. In fact, if you go to Zhang Yuan, you will see the most iconic element from outside to inside is based on the icon of the loop. So if 10 years ago, we had to plan an exhibition for the same brand or for some other luxury brands, each section, each chapter of the journey will be based on the product itself. I go there, okay, the product is cool, is made by these luxury materials, is very expensive, and this is the most interesting thing I can define. But right now, that's not the case, because the idea of luxury changed. The luxury is more related to the human being and to the value that he can bring to the customers. So buy my product, because behind it, there are hundreds of craftsmen who dedicate their time and their life to do it. Young people are the center of the brand experience. They are very demanding on new ideas. They are very demanding on new formats. With Apex Group in 2018, we plan to create an underground experience for Rolls-Royce to attract young consumers. The campaign, the global campaign we were working with was called Rules Rewritten. The question mark for us as event people was how to bring this idea of rules rewritten alive. And the idea was very simple. You say, let's invite our audience to go somewhere unknown. Let's imagine they go to the Rolls-Royce retail. And when they arrive there, they see nothing. The signage of Rolls-Royce is basically destroyed. There are all the electric lines coming out. The internal space has no car, but the whole posters all mess up on the ground. There is basically nothing. We just hear some sound coming from a door. When they open the door, the guests see a very long staircase bringing them into the underground of London. And that was the core idea, to attract these people to go there and see the exhibition. In fact, you see the cars on the rails of the subway. And the first thing you see, you enter in the London Underground. We have no traditional display. We have no traditional way to display the car, as they usually did in the traditional marketing. But for each collection, we create a unique scenario that brings the soul of the car alive. Another experience I was very happy to do in the past was the opening of Starbucks Roastery in Tai Kuk Way. Why this project is very important? Because the technology is quite simple and very well known by most of the consumer, which is the projection mapping. But the idea of creating an emotional story was the winning point. The founder of Starbucks had a dream, and this dream was to bring the coffee culture all over the world. 20 years ago, he brought Starbucks to China and introduced the coffee culture, at the beginning unsuccessfully, because as you know, most of Chinese people didn't drink coffee. They didn't have a real coffee cultures. But Starbucks made a very great point for the Chinese consumers. He introduced and launched the coffee from Yunnan to the new roastery. So this commitment was not only about sales, was a commitment and a give back to the community from Yunnan. So this launch was very important for this reason, and also because Starbucks want to cooperate with Tmall and launch the new online store. Jack Ma was there, and also the founder of Starbucks, Mr. Schultz. So the whole show is based on the dream of Mr. Schultz, who at the beginning of the show comes to the stage, open his hands, holding a small coffee bean, and the whole journey begins on the facade. At the end of the story, Mr. Schultz opened his hand back and take the coffee bean from Yunnan and bring it over the world. This storytelling that was based on emotion make the client buy our proposal. Another experience I did this year was the creation of the first metaverse of Chivas. Unfortunately, we didn't win this proposal, but I believe the concept is still very valuable, and I would like to show you to talk to Andrea later also about the importance and the complexity of the metaverse in China. We plan to do this event on Timiland, which is the platform of QQ, but in the end we failed. The client believed the Korean platform Weverse was better to host this event, for the reason that it was more accessible over the world, easy to manage, because the metaverse in China was really at the beginning. However, we believe the metaverse itself is not an experiential place, but through the storytelling, the creation of contents, and of course, the stories of Lisa, we could make it more experiential through an integration of online and offline. From a mini program, all the guests could register, get a star code, join the event, and in the end, after the speech of Lisa, a lucky draw was shown on the screen, and the people holding the lucky number could win a limited edition bottle of Chivas 18 with the signature of Lisa. So the metaverse itself, it's not a revolution. We believe it's an evolution of the social media. What makes the difference is the brand experience. If we embrace the power of the brand experience, a metaverse itself can come alive. Another project we believe was very interesting for the audience was Story Birch. We were very glad to win with Apex Group a very important award in New York City. But what was the winning point and the key contents for this experience was about the journey, the imaginary journey. As you can see, the pop-up, it doesn't have the shape of a box, but has the shape of a sailing boat. because in the memories of Tory Burch, the sailing boat was what brings her story alive across her journey in the Mediterranean Sea, and also follow the memories of her parents to bring her collection alive. Online and offline integration, people go not to a product-based pop-up, but to an experiential place where memories integrated with the collection of the new season campaign comes alive in every corner. Another experience, which is done in Milan, integrating artificial intelligence from a very famous artist called Refik Anadol, is for Bulgari Serpenti. If you go to any Bulgari exhibition, before the third level of experience, you will see that all the decoration is very basic. You will see many showcases, brand videos, beautiful lights, beautiful printing material, but you won't see emotions. What Refik Anadol did is to use machine learning to have all the information and the artificial intelligence re-elaborate it into a creative way. So your journey is no longer about seeing the product. Of course, you will see the product, but you will see the soul of the imagination of the product alive through the artificial intelligence. And another project I would like to share from a company based in Milan is the art of breaking by Brembo. 10 years ago, I was glad to work on the opening of the factory of Brembo in China. And I also worked with Brembo on the car show, both in Shanghai and Beijing in the past years. And all the brand experience was based on showcase. The consumers didn't know Brembo very well. So the center of the experience was really the product. But now, since the product is well known, what the consumers want to experience is the soul of the product. As you can see from a simple display,
e quindi il design, la bellezza è sempre stato un elemento distintivo della nostra azienda, tant'è che l'impianto frenante oggi, quando viene visto applicato sulla vettura, identifica il tipo di vettura, una macchina sportiva, piuttosto che una macchina ibrida se la pinza di un certo colore, verde, piuttosto che una macchina con impianto in
In addition to this, with the artificial intelligence or other sort of technology, we can really form words, we can really form human shape, we can really form any kind of shape through the kinetic based on people's emotion. This is the difference compared to before. When you go to the brand experience, you want to be the protagonist of it. You don't want to be a passive consumers. You want to be an active consumers and really see how this product affect and change your perception in life. So in this so-called revolution in China, the online and offline are integrated. How to bring people to the shopping mall if, as you can see, the shopping mall are basically empty all the time. You need a great online activation. If you want people to go there and remember your experience, need to be unique. And after they do the experience, they need to be able to share their creations online. So these two words will be more and more integrated. Experience, a second point, is not a matter of showcase. Experience is a personalized word for the user. At the third point, the product essence is more important than its look and how you display it. Sometimes you can even not display the product, but display its essence through visual storytelling, through sounds, through colors. The usage of interactivity is not based on touch screen anymore. This is boring for the young generation. It's based on leveraging emotions. You can speak to the product and the product responds to your senses. Another point that is also very important and will be a key conversation with Andrea is the data collection. Who goes to our exhibitions? Since we cannot target our audience so easily into groups, we really need to truly understand them one by one, what products they like, how long they stay in a certain kind of space. So the data collection becomes a crucial point for the clients. And then here we can extend our conversation because there are different types of data collection. In my experience, we try to a simple data collection by using the online registration QR code. And another one using the artificial intelligence, which is more sophisticated and more into detail. So since we hope, at the end of the epidemic, hope soon, we believe that brand experience is no longer related only to the offline traditional event, but embrace the online as well. Metaverse, social media, all these platforms will be more and more experiential for personal usage. So we believe with a good brand experience, we can leverage the growth of the brands, increase the audience interest, because again, they won't see more and more ideas, more and more experiences, empower the conversation with them. They want to see more attractive things. The brand experience, a good one, differentiate our companies, make them unique. My company did a great exhibition, which is a step forward from yours. More contents are shared on social media, more pictures, more emotions. I can post more. I can make something unique that I haven't seen before. So uniqueness is something that the brand experience can empower to your brand. Enhance brand recognition. There are some brands like Bulgari or like Hermes. They have unique brand experience. No one else can do. Same for the Gentle Monster. If you go to the house in Huahailu, you will see amazing installations that you cannot see to other brands. Why? Because their power of brand experience is higher than other brands. They invest more money and more on talents, resources than other brands. No matter, you don't buy the product for the quality, you buy the product for the brand experience. And definitely, if you embrace this new way of leverage emotions, you can boost your sales. So there is, in my point, not only one ingredient to empower your brand experience, but a few. especially in China. No matter you are Chinese brand or foreign brand, you need to speak to the local communities. What is your product relevant for them? And what benefit you can give to the communities? It happened to me to work with some skincare brands like Kiehl's. They really care about local communities. And in the past, we planned to do an event in old China Lane House and work with the local community to create it, to create sustainable materials, to use materials that comes from Shanghai. So using local artists, using local resources is the future of events and the future of sustainability. Create emotion through technology. Many people believe that artificial intelligence, as well as metaverse, is the death of traditional events. Actually not. This technology really helps the creators to create new words, to create new contents, and also to let the people play with the things we showcase. We inspire life through green life to give a give back to the local communities, as Starbucks did in 2018. Why to import coffee from the world? Why to be the same worldwide agencies investing in China, but not give back to the community? Let's promote finally the Chinese coffee culture to the world. This is a give back of Starbucks to China. The design. We know very well that most of the brands, some of the brands, including foreign ones, are embracing the Chinese guochao. But this is sometimes relevant, sometimes unsuccessful, but bold. Bold is another powerful word for the brand experience. You don't want to see a pop-up that look like a pop-up. You don't want to see an event that is a traditional keynote. You want to be bold. You want to be attractive. You want to leave memories to the people. At the number 5, I suggest to blend virtual and physical worlds. Through the technology, the sensing technology, you can transfer your physical experience into metaverse, or transfer your appearance into avatar to continue navigating into the brand experience. You can begin from the metaverse and continue in the physical world and transfer back to the metaverse. But most important is you need to generate unexpected. You don't want to go and see one room, second room, third room. You want people to discover things, to be how to say, impressed by the unexpected appearance. This is a little bit introduction of the brand experience. I believe that the future will be on creating emotions and personalize your brand experience to individual consumers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alberto, you already said everything that we had to say, and in fact, we don't have that much time to discuss further. But I have a couple of questions about. Of course, one is about, because there's a lot of companies, especially the ones that are connected, that belong to the B2B sector, the mechanic sector. We know that Italy has the majority of companies, the Italian companies in the area are of the kind. So like a lot of what you showed seemed perfectly applicable to Bulgari and Rolls-Royce, but how does a brand that sells, I don't know, machinery, how would they create a brand experience that resonates? Do you have an example? Do you have an idea on this?
But the example, one example is coming from the luxury. The luxury, like we said, they don't want just to sell because it's expensive. They sell because there is an history behind. There is a craft. No matter this is a small product of a machine, who built the machine? What is the insight of this machine? What it makes this uniqueness? What make Brembo, which is a product, a brake for the car, a very beautiful design object, is the DNA, but also is the future of this product, is the lightness of this product. So in the reference I show, the art of braking, the product is moving higher, is very light, it's like flying. So my suggestion for the manufacturer companies or companies that sell machinery is to really think of what is inside this machinery and how they create this machinery to bring this alive through the brand experience. We don't want to see a machine over there and see a screen behind telling this is perfect machine, it's 10 times faster than another one. Yes, people from the sector might be interested in this information, but can we make this information more emotional? We are now suffering the COVID over the years, so we know we are very touched by emotions. So we are looking for more and more emotional connections. We spend most of the time online, on social media. Why to go offline? No matter the product is. We want to see this feeling with the product. And I think no matter the type of industry, I think this is the direction that make the consumers buy the product.
Right. And I mean, you mentioned, you said guochao, which is like the tendency, like the pride of local brands and local things. Tell me more about it. Like, should we be afraid of the local brands that are becoming objectively better and better, or how do we deal with this?
Well, I think, like you mentioned before, this year, definitely the Chinese brands are more and more important to the consumers. No matter what, I believe to be attractive, we need to face this phenomenon. This phenomenon is a little bit tired, I think, the guochao. As I read from the news and from the statistics.
As in it's passing?
No, not this part, it's evolving because of the COVID situations. I think not the people are disconnected from the national phenomenon, but it's less relevant as before. It's still powerful, but less relevant as before. More than see the guochao as a way of appearance. We need to see this phenomenon from the insight of the consumers. And then I think this is the difficult of the international companies and international agencies. If I think as a CEO of a company here, I believe you need to truly understand the consumers to empower your market, to meet your client demands. We cannot do like 10 years ago. We are a cool global company and we come here to make money. No, we need to really understand the consumers. And even working for agencies, no matter it's a local agency or an international, we need to really understand the way that Chinese people work and think and the process they appreciate. So What, for example, Dolce & Gabbana did before embracing the Guo Chao, that was totally wrong. What Balenciaga did was of embracing the Guo Chao on the surface. What the luxury brands doing every year with the limited collection, putting the mouse and putting the bunny on the watch. This is a very external approach to the Guo Chao. Now it's time to really understand what these young consumers are looking for from the inside. So this, I think, is the evolution of this phenomenon.
So we have time for a last question. Are there questions from Zoom? Yeah. No, are there any questions from Zoom? Otherwise, I can, if there's the audience wants to ask a last question. Otherwise, I have a last question. But anybody wants? Anybody from Zoom, from connected? Oh, okay, please. Okay, on my phone. Okay, so. So Varvara Sivortian is asking a question about the metaverse, of course. So what are the chances of launching projects on the metaverse, especially to try and combine it with education? And I think in general, what is the role of the metaverse in brand experience?
The difficulty of the metaverse in China, in my experience, is about the amount of users. As a teacher, sometimes I ask the students what they think about it. They still prefer the physical experience. The metaverse itself is problematic because they don't have a large amount of users going there. So to invite people to the metaverse, we need a really strong PR communication to drive them there. We have plenty ways to play with this. It can be used for education, that's for sure, because we can connect people from all over the world. I think this is already on since a few years. I think the next step is how to utilize this metaverse combined with the offline experience. So you can start with this metaverse, go offline and still reconnect with this. So it becomes a circular experience, 360 degrees. So I think this is the point we need to pursue in the future.
I have a last one. China is reopening, hopefully. The economy is restarting, hopefully. I think we're all looking forward to this. So what should a brand, what should a company do in 2023 to really unlock the power of brand experience?
Well, I hope, and this is a hope, and I also believe the brand experience offline is not dead. There will be a renaissance of it. People in these years haven't had the chance to travel. They travel through the social media. They travel through small brand experiences. They haven't seen the world much. We haven't hosted many international artists, and we didn't have the chance to bring local artists to the world. So I hope, and I believe so, there will be a new renaissance and a new vibe for people to go and reunite together again.
Well, you know, like in the past couple of years with the Italian Chamber of Commerce, we have done a lot of like online webinars, and I think this is one of the very first, or among the first of events that are held both online and offline. And I'm glad to see that there's people who want to come here to a physical space to network, to brave COVID, and you know, meet in person and discuss topics. So I think this is boding very well for.
Well, Andrea, I think you agree with me. Having a glass of wine with friends and cheers is better than having a glass of wine alone at home on Zoom. So anyway, thank you.
Cheers. Well, thanks a lot to Flat Mind.
Thank you to the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to Flat Mind for the contents creation, the host, and thank you to you for participating. Thanks too much. Thanks to everyone. Let's have a glass of wine physically. No matter the COVID, we will take it, but it doesn't matter. Finally, we can reunite. Thanks so much.